Episode 128.
Welcome to episode 128 of Menace and the Man. How are you
So a
today,
half
Menace?
play from 133 would be episode
133.
151 and a half.
Let's not open up with math. Let's open up with scandals. Let's talk about what we were talking about earlier. We'll just jump right into it. The Tim Elliott. I sent you the message, the posting
Yeah,
of it. Tim Elliott posting about his wife.
rough.
Yeah.
I really liked him.
So how do you know Tim Elliott?
Been on multiple cards together and like sauna sits together where usually I'm in a sauna sit cutting weight and other fighters come in. I'm just like, whatever. Tim Elliott, I'm like, what's up, dude? He's like, what's up? I'm like, man, I like your style.
Yeah.
He gets in there and puts on a legit street fight. You know what I mean? Throws everything in the kitchen sink at you. And he's super well rounded. He's been in the game since WEC, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah. So he's like a vet. You know what I mean? So
Old
I've always
school.
had a ton of respect for Tim Elliott. And he's kind of one of those. I feel like he's like for some reason, right? He won't be in the Hall of Fame, right?
It depends on if this UFC Hall of Fame and the MMA Hall of Fame ever winds up being like the baseball or football Hall of Fame. Then maybe he could be a contender.
Well, then can I be a contender if that's
Yeah, then possibly, you know what I mean? It would
okay?
probably start, you'd think, with like all the champions, and then they'd start letting in because there's guys that had like, 3,000 hits or a lot of runs or a lot of stolen bases and, shit like that.
Because I'm up there with the takedowns. I feel like that's gonna be because somebody asked me the other day. I mean, not the other day. I've been asked this multiple times. Like, what is the average lifespan for a UFC fighter? And I was like, average? I would say 3 years.
I believe that's the NFL. The NFL is 3.5 years or.
No, but I'm talking about all the guys that there. A lot of guys come in, lose 2 and 3, and get like, all right, see ya.
Well, you know what they say? A lot of people don't even make it to their next contract.
That's what I'm talking about. The lad that's your lifespan of the sport, right?
I wouldn't say,
Not
well, lifespan of your UFC career maybe, but not
yes,
lifespan of the
yes,
sport.
yes, of your UFC career. Yeah, that's what I mean by it. What is the average UFC career?
Well, that is like I just said, one contract.
Is it?
Yeah, I believe
So
so.
that's like then that's like a year and a half if you try and stretch it out.
2 years maybe. Think of even guys that you've known that just were good. Think of both of them. Guys you knew that were good. Guys you knew that sucked. That just were kind of in and out.
What's wild is I knew guys that were good that were in and out.
That's what I'm saying. I knew guys that were terrible that were in and out, and guys that were good that were in and out. That it's like, oh, it just didn't. For him, it just didn't work out.
Yeah. Man, I might just sit down and like look at the average stay for my whole class of the Ultimate Fighter.
You had a class though. That was a good class.
Oh, for sure.
You guys are even contenders in like the class.
Of all classes, huh?
Yeah. If you look
Yeah.
at what everybody did, look at even Dustin Pig this past weekend winning in bare knuckle. You know what I mean? Johnny Bedford was a champion of bare knuckle, like that class. I was
Yes.
listening to Aljamain was
All right, we
saying
got way off track, did we not?
a little bit. We're bouncing around. Where did you want to go back to? I was just going to
We
say that.
were talking about Tim Elliott and how I had respect for him. Oh, then I asked if he'd be in the Hall of Fame, and now
Yep.
we're down a
The
real rabbit
ADD.
hole. Back to Tim Elliott. So,
Yeah.
can you have the tweet on hand?
Yeah. I just know
Read
it
it out loud.
I know it off the top of my head
Okay.
that it was him saying, "Hey, how fucked up is this?" Well, let me go. If I'm gonna go word for word, let's look it up.
Sure. Yeah. Let's recite it for, the Menace and the Man fans exact.
You guys want to see? You want to see something gross? This is my wife reading vows to my daughter on our wedding night. The guy holding the microphone was my friend, teammate. My wife cheated on me with this guy the same night, and they have had a relationship our entire marriage. Gina Mazzani, he wrote.
All right, so who's the guy? I mean, I feel like I've seen that guy around just because whatever, but he was never in a big league, no?
Didn't make it past his first contract in the UFC. He went 0-3.
Damn. Okay.
So our ADD can always circle back to something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Tim Elliott's been in the UFC, was in the UFC, was out of the UFC, came back to the UFC.
That's right.
And then people are ragging even the whole situation of that right now. Gina Mazzani, I think, was 2-7 in the UFC.
That's right. The thing, I mean, for a girl, I felt she had like a good build. She is not that she used it all, but she knows jiu-jitsu. She can wrestle a little bit. She can strike. She just, like we say sometimes, like some girls just aren't, she doesn't possess like if you put her in with somebody else and it was fight to the death, no one's going to die. You know what I mean?
Well, which me is talking, because you're like, on one side, it's like she doesn't have a lot of skill. She's not like one of the elite. And then the other one on the other side is like she has no skill. Is skill what you're talking about? Any skill, So
Right.
women's MMA, the lower tier of women's MMA.
Yes. But her and Tim were the same weight class, no?
I think
Or she weight class above him?
If she's a woman, she's 15, 25, 35.
Are you sure? Yeah, but Tim is a 25, 35.
Yeah. 25, 35, okay. Same size-ish, yeah.
Okay.
But that's rough,
The thing is, listen, what she did is not okay, right? But the fact that she went out of her way and wrote, like, it's one thing if she wrote vows to just Tim and fucked him over. But then she kind of brought the daughter in on it, like, no, I love you just as much as I love him, and I'm not leaving either of you. You got a penis over there? Let me see that thing. Get that thing over near around my face. And your Tim's friend? Like, I know you well.
Yeah. Are they still
now? Is there any realm? Because she does have weird colored hair. I don't know. Tim may be a freak. Maybe they had like a 3-way one night and she got comfortable with. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I need more answers. I don't think Tim Elliott gave more answers. I don't think Tim Elliott gave any more answers.
Okay.
But that had me like, wow. Imagine that would have fucked him up. Tim Elliott.
So me and Tim Elliott are Facebook friends.
Okay.
Which I would say is next tier to following someone, like in terms of knowing someone or liking someone to following them on Instagram.
I think the sauna weight cut sessions are like.
Well, yes, but that's why I became Facebook friends with him, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Because Facebook, you can only have so many friends.
5,000.
Where unless you're talking about your fan page, which I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about our personal thing, And I seen him and Gina's her name?
Yeah.
Life, and I was happy for him. Looked like they were always doing cool shit together, and she was always playing with his daughter, and just looked like she took her in as her own, And then when you sent me that, I was like, I thought they found like that, their person. And so then I checked after you sent me that, and he's single, no pictures of her.
Yeah.
Now, what weight class is that guy? He's a little weight class.
I think it was a 45er or 55er.
Now, if you're Tim, you're just like, fuck you, or you attack him. How does that work? Do you attack her? What?
This was 2 years ago. We don't know.
Oh, you got hands?
Bro, when did this happen? Like, so he knows the date that it happened. Like, when did he find out? Is my next question.
Yeah.
Did he just find out? and the whole thing is spiraling. He found out like that's the starting date. I need to know answers.
I mean, in my head, right? If something like that happened to me,
So this
for
guy's a
example,
lightweight. I think he fought in the UFC at 45, if I'm not mistaken. He fought Brian Kelleher at 45.
okay, so that's probably where I've seen him.
Alex Caceres. He put on a few like action fights in the UFC, but 3 and out. 3 and
Hmm.
out.
Um, maybe I hit Tim up. I'm like, yo, dude, you want me to fuck this dude up? Sign the fight up. I'll work his ass for you. But I can't get down. It's gotta be like 65.
Yeah, but just I need to know more. So yeah, maybe you hit Tim up. Like I don't want to. I doubt we don't want to turn into TMZ, but at the same time, it's a thing. Maybe you want to talk to some pros.
Right. Well, I mean, so for example, when I found out my ex kid, remember I always talk about my ex kid,
Mm-hmm.
wasn't mine. I was just like huge chew, case of like 2 cases of beer, brought him home and was just kind of drinking it, just like drinking my feelings, just like. And then while you're doing that, like when you're not drinking, what else are you gonna do? I was like, this fucking bitch, fucking fuck her. I let it all out because I wanted people like on my side and like make me almost feel better.
What do you mean by you let it all out? You talked about it.
Just put it all on the internet, like
Ooh.
this fucking bitch, not my kid, fucking whore, just went in. Where and I wanted people like, yeah, she is, and I wanted people like to cheer, like, yeah, screw her. I wanted her to feel just as bad as I was feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying about that is Tim, maybe that same day, just like, what? Let's fucking wreck her name.
She did delete her social media, I saw.
Ooh, probably because she was about to start getting. She probably got like 2 hate mails. I was like, "Whoa, this isn't."
I did see people.
One of those. Like she knows she was in the wrong, so let me just disappear.
People were posting to Kevin Kroom as well. Yeah.
Did that guy delete his thing?
Not his Twitter, at least that I didn't look. I didn't look him up. I was just caring about the Gina. And then I looked up Tim Elliott. I mean, he looks business as usual. Just no chick in his shit.
Does he have a scrap coming up?
Not that I'm aware of.
Tell you what, that's where you throw some money at. If he's got a fight coming up, hopefully he's the underdog because I will throw 100 at it easy.
But that's you having problems in your personal life. That's always not the best training camp.
Well, no, if they live together,
Does have a fight coming up next week.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh no, he needs the business.
2 weeks, June 3rd. June 3rd.
What organization? UFC, right?
UFC.
Who's the guy?
He's actually on a little streak right now. He won his last one, lost the fight before that, but he's won 3 of his last 4. He's fighting some Victor Altamirano. What flag is that? Mexican?
Man.
Yeah, Mexican.
Okay. Are there any odds?
I'm sure. Nah, the odds might not be up yet. I'm sure there's some, but let me see.
Well, this guy sounds like a newcomer now.
No, he's got a few fights in the UFC.
Okay.
2-1.
So real quick, there was fights this past weekend. Jessica Rose Clark, she was the first fight in the prelims.
You watched?
She got choked in the second or
third?
The third. Was she winning the fight?
No.
Man. Well, I mean, what about the stand-up? Obviously, it went to the ground, right?
No, the girl was a stand-up fighter. She had a couple of, she was landing punches and, she needed to work the low kick more, but no, she was not doing anything.
All I see Jessica doing is trading striking and, lifting.
Yeah. Do you want to know the problem there, if you will, is keeps
Just doesn't
changing.
let it go, right?
What happened?
Just doesn't let it go.
Keeps changing gyms.
Is that a problem?
Not letting it go. I think every fight you're coming into it with a new game plan. It's like just do what you're very good at. Take your best skills and you know, even this fight, I don't know what her camp was like, but you're fighting the girl was like a Muay Thai world champion. So it's like, all right, I need to have my wrestling on point and a straight right hand and maybe a low kick to she's going to be standing upright. She's a Muay Thai fighter, you know?
Right.
None of it.
Damn.
I mean, she tried to wrestle, but
How
I've seen her wrestle
many
look
L's
way
is that
better.
in a row?
What'd you say?
How many L's is that in a row for her?
I was just going to look that up, but
She's the menace of the man guest, so
bro, my favorite Australian fighter. One of them. Best looking Australian fighter. That's 3 in a row. They like her. They'll give her another one probably.
yes, they will. Yeah, they will.
But 3 submission losses in a row. And even this one, she defended the armbar. She almost got armbarred at one point. She had moments and was, just behind in the fight. Like losing the rounds, but it's like, all right, she still could steal the
Sure.
round. All right, didn't steal that round. And then it just
We
didn't
should
happen.
get around. Do you wrestle and do jiu-jitsu? Or do you just because
Change camps again. Come on down to Long Island.
there's other you could do kickboxing if you want.
I feel like what happens sometimes when you change camps is you lose what you do best, and you go to a camp and you try to learn new things, and you're working with a new coach, and he sees something else that you do good, and you just wind up like going into the fight like, all right, wait, I'm gonna try this.
Wasn't she just training with that big like older guy with the big belly who holds mitts for all the time? What do you mean?
Yeah, I think she changed camps. They kept talking
I've
about
never
it.
seen that guy. I feel.
She packed her RV and went to somewhere.
Hmm.
Change camps. And before she had left the big belly guy, CSA, and gone to Alpha Male, and then she went back there. Like she's just been bouncing around too much.
Mm.
And here, you want me to go further? I don't want to sit here and critique women's MMA, but you keep losing by submission, work on your
Well, that's
jiu-jitsu.
what I'm saying. Like, because anytime I lost by submission, I'm like, I will never lose to that specific submission again.
Yeah.
May lose by submission, hopefully not. But that one right there is not going to happen again because I'm going to drill the defense of that till I'm blue in the face.
Yeah, and then you probably drilled the shit out of it, and now it's just in there. Like, all right, that's a move. That's like I've told you with the
As the arm
guillotine.
gets close here, I'm just like, I'll stay. Yeah, you know what? I would rather give you the round than lose the whole fight.
Yeah.
I'll stay here the whole time and let you have my back.
That's like with the guillotine. I'm unguillotinable. You know what I mean? I will always be able to defend the guillotine.
What do we have next on the Como se llama here?
Did you see the KSI fight?
I did not. I really don't go out of my way to watch YouTubers, except for Jake.
Not that you went and watched the whole fight. You maybe saw the highlights.
No, didn't even break into my thing.
Instead of fighting Jake Paul, who he should be fighting, he fought some guy, Joe Fournier, who's like a boxer, but a influencer of some kind. Has had like a 9-0 pro boxing record, like a boxer, you know what I mean? Different than all the other opponents, not phase temper and shit. But caught him with a right hand, wobbled him like a, not this, just a wild, caught him and wobbled him. Then when he went in to follow up, just started throwing wild, threw a right hand, and maybe the tip of the glove might have touched his head, but boom,
Yeah.
Forearm, elbow, knocked the guy out. The guy's not getting up, not beating the count. And then at first, KSI was like, I knocked him out, blah, 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 blah. That was vicious. Did a whole promo. And then even the announcer was like, it looked like an elbow. And he was like, nah, that was a punch. So it's like, ooh, hopefully he doesn't Patty Pimblett this, But I did hear that he said, he's like, no, I saw it after the fact and saw it was an elbow. It sucks. But would have kept going that way. You know,
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I imagine it would have too. The guy's not good. The guy he fought, like even it's just bullshit. They keep wasting time. Just Jake Paul, KSI, just do it.
Yeah, I would like that. But I mean, I also like Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz more.
I love Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. But so Tommy Fury got in the ring after KSI wins, and now they're gonna fight. Again, pushing back or pushing off the Jake Paul KSI timeline.
Which is fine.
It maybe making it bigger, but I don't think
Yeah.
KSI. I don't think he beats Tommy Fury.
No, I don't think he does either.
Yeah. And I don't know about. I don't think Jake Paul beats Nate Diaz.
Yeah, I don't either.
The same way that when Conor McGregor fought Nate Diaz and he was sleeping everybody or rocking everyone with his left hand, then he hit Nate Diaz and Nate Diaz went, you know, and he was like, wait, it didn't work on you, you know? Like he dropped him and thought he even had him. Nate was like, come down, motherfucker, you know, and it didn't work. The same thing is going to happen when Jake Paul hits him. Jake Paul, same right hand that knocked out Woodley and Ben Askren, knocked out MMA fighters. He's going to land that. He's going to look better than he did against Fury. He's going to land that right hand. And Nate's going to go, you know, like just adjust his mouthpiece and be like, that's it, bro. You know, I've been boxing, dog.
So, they're fighting in Texas, right? Yep. Which Texas is super. They're like they don't have any tolerance for marijuana.
So at the press conference,
I saw a thing like, so you know, there's no tolerance. Like, yeah, I don't care. You keep smoking anyway.
At the press conference, when they asked him, they were like, a journalist asked him like, "What do you feel about this?" And Nate goes, "What? What? You know, what the fuck is he talking about? That's a thing." So
now, do you think that was strategy by Jake Paul?
Yes, absolutely.
Where they could do promo, and then Nate can't even fight because
maybe I would think absolutely.
Or if Nate wins, he's got weed in his system and it's a no contest.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But that's one of those things.
I don't think Nate cares, though.
That's you could beat Leon Edwards, beat Nate Diaz, and somehow lost the fight in like the court of public opinion, you know. And even Nate Diaz.
I tell you what, that's a win-win. If Nate beats Jake Paul, right? It's like because we all know that's the deal, right? And then test positive for marijuana. And then there's no contest. So then Jake Paul can still run his way with his, hey, you know, he was cheating, failed a drug test where we're like, it was weed. He didn't. But he still has a path to go with it and keeps doing his thing. And then Nate can go this way, keep doing his thing, and like, yeah, I beat his ass. Doesn't matter that you know. I think that's a win-win.
Nate lost to Leon Edwards 4-1, clearly, very clear fight, and still to this day goes around and goes, "Well, I beat the champion at welterweight, you know." And so here, if we're gonna go street fighting rules, or if that night they would have fought to the death, my money would have been on Nate Diaz.
Sure, yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Just how it is.
Street fights, you're not throwing kicks.
You might.
Usually it's like street fights turn into you know, a fucking phone booth slugfest, you know?
Curbs and shit. Bro, how about that? Hopefully he's just a comedic genius, Nate Diaz. That Jake Paul went, "Did you think that was Logan Paul when you choked the guy you choked out?" And Nate went, "Come on, everybody knows that was Logan Paul." That was like, wait. That was almost like everyone in the room was like, hold on. Is he serious right now? And he was like, "Tell me that wasn't Logan Paul." So he might have been a little buzzed, saw the lookalike.
Which that guy is having like a little run with it.
Bro, imagine if that's the
He did like,
yeah.
I'm not Logan Paul. He thinks I'm Logan Paul. Like, that guy's getting a little press off of it.
That guy is apparently a blue belt or a purple belt, has some training, has an MMA
Oh, is that
background.
right?
He knew exactly, and he's suing Nate Diaz apparently, and I forget who. Oh, Logan Paul, that piece of shit Logan Paul is like, I'm helping fund the lawsuit from my Logan Paul lookalike against Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is like a dog, a pit bull, a lion. If you train jiu-jitsu or you fight at all, you know exactly who he is. He was involved in like the second or third, fourth
Yes.
biggest fight in MMA. You know what I mean? When I went to the UFC in Madison Square Garden, and I have that little bit of footage where I walked with Nate, like I was just walking, all of a sudden I have footage where Nate Diaz got completely swarmed, where you can't even see him. You could see him 1 second, you just see crowds, kids. Nate, holy shit. Like he's a fucking Beatle. He's a rock star, Nate Diaz.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And just, you don't walk up to him at all. And what's his name? That dude, the Logan Paul lookalike, walked up to him like, oh, no. In a brawl, walked up to him and tried to be like anything. This is not innocent when you're walking up to a dog or a fucking, even a fighter, anyone. And when there's a fight going on, don't walk up to me. Get away from me. Get the fuck away from me. You'll get hit for shit like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he went like this, and Nate grabbed his wrist and was like, nah, not today. And must have fucking hit him with the clap right into the guillotine.
That's awesome.
And then the greatest thing is even Jake Paul was like, he's like, I didn't even hit that dude. I just choked him. And then Jake Paul goes, you need him. He just was like, I didn't.
Then I saw part of the press conference. He's like, where's everybody in here?
People sleep on Nate Diaz. I think he's a genius,
Well, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Like marketing.
Why wouldn't that place packed out?
Knows exactly what he's doing, and knew even there, like with his branching off and being like, I want to start my own fight league. I think he gets it. Like even you see Masvidal's killing it right now with his league.
Yes.
Even I heard his one show didn't do good with tickets. I forget which one, but I think he's still just on to the next one. Like he's a promoter now. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm sure he's got a money guy too.
If not him, has a money guy, has sponsors, and then he has a guy involved with him, the guy Dean O'Toole, who I know is like a promoter. You know what I mean? He has a guy with him.
Yeah. We're going to use your name. It's going to be your thing. We're going to split the profit, but trust me, we're going to win,
If Menace ever...
A little bit of money, probably,
If you ever dust it off, that's probably be where you'd go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You'd hit him up and be like, Boricua, play up your Puerto Rican.
And he starts rambling off Spanish real fast. I'm like, whoa.
Bro, type it right into Google Translate and then respond back with something. You're like, yo, Bermudez is cool, but his Spanish is a little funky.
So real quick, off topic, I saw it today and I was like, oh damn. Do you remember the what were those the art you could buy with cryptocurrency? The NFTs. Yeah. So there's an NFT that Logan Paul bought for I think like $653,000 is now only worth $10.
Yeah. People lost billions.
Whatever. I wonder what happened with that.
What do you mean? A fucking scam, Ponzi scheme.
It was looking like it was going to be a thing. I don't know. It didn't make sense to me.
It's not really.
I wanted to do like a quick get rich,
Yeah, it's supposed to be like art, if you will. It's not really art because it's not like a tangible. It's not like an actual physical thing. It's not actually something. It's supposedly something you own, but
I mean, when the metaverse hits again, maybe it'll be something different.
Yeah, like who knows? It could be worth billions in the future, but I don't know enough about it, and it felt like a scam to me.
Yeah, I was like, so I'm gonna buy art that I gotta put my computer on to get it, and
then we had Michael Johnson we were going to talk to, and he must be smoking blunts.
We're gonna have Menace and the Man Menace squared on the man.
He's probably smoking blunts or cleaning his. He's probably like fight week for him is probably like, oh, I gotta flush my pee out, and I gotta do all this shit. And then even so, I sent him one message. Do I send him two, or do we just push him off?
But I mean, whatever. We also can get him after his fight.
Well, that's why. It's the only reason why I say I'm not gonna start sending him 6 messages.
Um, but Conor McGregor and Chandler, there was a little right. They released a thing about how Conor like pushed his face.
Yes. So the trailer for Tough. What are they at? 31?
I don't know. Could be 36. I don't even know. But the thing is, like, when I saw that, I was like, I mean, anything, if you're around Conor, you're competing against Conor for a period of time, he's gonna touch you or throw something at you, or for sure, you know what I mean? Every long press conference he's ever done, water balls got thrown, someone got pushed, everyone. Right?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things, or my favorite like MMA moments, or you have like a little catchphrase that's stuck in your head. It's Dana White going, Conor, don't throw those, don't. That's it. This thing's over. Because he goes, Conor, don't throw, and Conor starts throwing the Monster Energy cans. As soon as he throws the first one, Dana goes, that's it. This thing's over.
Well, before that, there was like 2 water balls that went flying, right?
Nate threw water bottles, so Conor was like, I'm gonna throw full Monster Energy cans. And then I think from that point on, the UFC started putting empty cans. And now maybe it's different, but I remember at a point you had to like people were grabbing the empty can, trying to drink it, and being like, "Yo, can I get a can? What the fuck?"
Right. I know I would, because I'm a big. If it's free, it's for me. Like I don't really even like Monster, but it'd be right there in front of me. I'm like,
I'll try this shit. So one thing, just off topic, and then we'll find somewhere else. Aljo, I don't know if he's with G Fuel anymore. He got his own drink company, but it's like a nootropic drink company. So it's supposedly like the shit you drink that's like for your brain.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right. I think that's definitely, it's probably a conflict with G Fuel.
Yeah, because isn't G Fuel supposedly something with your brain?
Yeah, get you going. Because I know G Fuel nor Gamma Labs sells a protein drink, right? So I had this one company that gave me protein, so I sent them, put up a picture. And G Fuel hit me up like, you gotta take that post. I'm like, why? You guys don't even have protein. It says recovery on it. We have drinks that do recovery. And I was like, oh, damn. All right. Like, whatever.
And what was it? Someone who just gave you something?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the ADD. But back to Conor. Mushes Michael Chandler's face. Someone mushed your face. I wonder what Chandler did in retaliation.
Well, the thing is, they like everybody when there's any kind of hands on, everybody rushes in and blocks everybody each way, right?
Yeah, but right there, once he touched Chandler's face, Chandler should have started swinging.
Yeah, but he's like a good kid.
I don't give a fuck if I hit your coach. I'll hit the old dude breaking it up.
Well, what's really funny is when if you watch back at some of the episodes of season 14 of The Ultimate Fighter, there's Bisping and Mayhem got into it.
Yeah.
And everybody from both teams fucking rushes in, and you see me still sitting in my spot on the line. I was like,
yeah, I'm not big on breaking up a fight.
Well, there's that. 2, nobody had a problem with me.
Yeah.
3, am I gonna risk getting fucking cheap shot when I'm in a competition?
Yeah.
Or I think I was tired from training and like I was hungry. And 5, whenever there's like a sudden like breakout fight, I go like, whoa, hang on, let me just see what's going on here.
Okay. So Michael Johnson said, damn, my bad. got held up training for a bit. How about we knock out Wednesday when I get out to Vegas? Sorry, man.
I got my little guys. I mean, we could try, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll do a little quicker, a little quick guy on Wednesday, possibly. But
Um,
what else could we talk about for this little guy?
bang bang.
But yeah, real excited for Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. Something I
What's
saw.
the date on that again?
What'd you say?
What's the date on that again?
Exactly. That's what I was going to go to. It's in August. That's something that KSI said. He's like, why'd they announce it so soon? And now they don't. I don't think they have anything else planned, or maybe they're going to prove us wrong and they have other press conferences planned, or because that's the gold. You know what I mean? Like if BKFC, that fight did great, and then Conor was there and all that shit. But the greatest thing that they ever did was had a press conference, and then the schmo doubled down for them and had that little fucking thing of them talking. Like, you ever see those things that boxing used to do? And they still do them, but they don't do them as much. They do the face-offs where
Okay.
now I think Ariel Helwani has done a few with some people where they put the fighter in a room with a journalist. And they
Like
just
a
have
black room.
yeah. Those are
Okay.
good. Those things sell fights. And then there's always clips from those that wind up, like even Daniel Cormier, American hero, he made that fight, Henry Cejudo versus Aljamain. You know what I
Yes.
mean? That fight could have happened with, the politics of MMA, but he made buzz about that fight when what's his name wasn't even in the game. Cejudo, he was flirting with coming back. He had a conversation with Aljo and went, "Oh, let's see if we'll get Henry to do an interview." You know what I mean? And Aljo was like, "I'll do it." And supposedly Henry Cejudo didn't want to do it. And then I guess Ali, or eventually he turned around. Like Ali must have been like, "Do this. This will make the fight happen."
Wow.
And then they did it that one face off. And then I heard Aljo say he thought it was cringe that every time he'd see Henry'd be like, yo, bust out a camera. It made the fight happen. You know?
Henry would tell Aljo to bust out a camera?
No, Henry would walk up with the camera and they would do like a face off. Like Henry was capturing all the interactions. But Aljo was doing that too. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Made for compelling, content.
Well, they both have YouTube channels, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, those probably hit and they're getting paid.
Yeah, but even just compelling shit, that's what I want to see. I want to see storytelling like that.
Yeah, you ain't wrong.
Yeah. So we'll try something later, but so Mackenzie Dern versus Angela Hill is the main event this weekend.
Cool.
Should have been, I was going to say to Michael Johnson, they could have just put him at that main event. Him versus Fajeda, throw it on a fight in that main event. Nobody would have been too upset. There would have been some fucking nerd saying, oh, look at the
There's
resumes.
probably, and listen, I'm not against it, but there's probably, you know how like some corporations, like they need so many black people, they need to hire so many black people or so many Latin people or so many females.
Mm-hmm.
The UFC probably has something like that. Like, well, we have to have so many female main events a year.
Maybe. I thought you were going to go with a certain amount of followers or something. I think Mackenzie Dern has that number.
What's that?
Followers to be a main event.
Oh, yes.
Michael Johnson's got a few 100,000. He could have been that guy.
Mackenzie Dern's probably more than that.
No, she's definitely bigger. I think even Angela Hill might be as big. But girls,
Yeah.
But again, we started kind of with women's MMA. We could end it and circle back to there. It's just not the riskiest.
Well, Mackenzie Dern actually has turned it up, though. She's been knocking chicks out, no? She submits a lot of people, but she's...
Bro, you want to know how terrible women's MMA is? When you really start paying attention to it is when you gamble on it or you place any type of bet on it. You have no idea how many times I've sprinkled a women's fight into a parlay and the women's a 400 favorite, a huge favorite. It's like there's no way. Like the women's, it's just so sketchy, women's MMA. Like it's very hard to predict women's MMA. Men's MMA, you can kind of go like, oh no, this guy's going to fuck this guy up.
Who do you got?
With what? Mackenzie Dern? This is a perfect example of that fight. Of saying that. And you know how you can go...
If Mackenzie Dern gets it to the ground...
Wait. You know how you can go, oh, well, if Mackenzie Dern gets to the ground, it's done. And if
Right.
Angela Hill wins? No. Women's MMA, there's a chance Mackenzie Dern wins a sloppy kickboxing fight against Angela Hill. There's a chance Angela Hill TKOs Mackenzie Dern on the ground with hammer fists. Like, women's MMA is the most unpredictable thing.
Right.
It's terrible.
So that's why you don't like it?
Bro, it's just that it's tough to watch. And now,
those two will be a good fight.
They're higher level, yes, I'll give them that. They're way higher level.
Leather. Again, they're small girls too. So
Angela Hill's good. Angela Hill's good, but then even her, she's hit or miss. Like, she has performances sometimes where it's like, what?
Sometimes she's a complete assassin. Sometimes she just looks flat. She's got it's right.
It's a little different for women, where a guy is like, yo, this guy's a killer. A woman, it's like, oh no, she's fierce when she gets in there. That one time. Other times she got in there and she was like, oh. Yeah. The same way men think, I don't want to be here tonight. Maybe I'm a sexist, whatever. Women probably think that every fight. There's a few that they have a night where they're like, it's not the same. We're talking about DNA and thousands of years of breeding. Women weren't get sent to war, and shit like that. It's just not in there. You didn't go to war, but your great something was in war and in battle and fucking stabbing people with things. Your great grandmother wasn't doing shit, You ever hear that thing what Khabib said where an interviewer's like, you have Eagle FC, when are we going to have women's MMA, and what do you think about women's fighting? And he says, like, you want my opinion? You want my opinion on this? Okay, I'll give you my opinion on this. And he goes, women should be fighters in the home, in the kitchen, in the home,
Yikes.
Tell me he's wrong, though. He's not wrong.
Hey, listen. I think it's good.
Even how you're like, Valentina, she's the girl. No, there's Valentina. There's Amanda Nunes. They proved my theory eventually. And if you say, oh, that's MMA. No, it's women's MMA. It's not men's MMA. There's no Juliana Payne.
It happens to everybody, dude. What do you mean?
Yes and no. Yes. Women's MMA is way different.
Well, there's less of them. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so different. Do I enjoy the fighters? Sometimes there's a good scrap. Yes, but
I think it's a 500.
Yeah, episode 128.
Oh, these girls are getting after it.
Yeah, it's enjoyable, but it's tough sometimes. But so yeah, Michael Johnson stood us up, but we'll get him soon. If not, I'll bang him out. I showed you that list. Did you see that list that I had?
What?
Oh, you didn't even look at it. I got sent a list from
yes, I did. Yes, it is. Yeah.
So, yeah,
but I didn't recognize a lot of those fighters.
What happened?
I didn't recognize a lot of those fighters.
That's what a lot of them were Russians and Iranians, and there's a few good ones on there.
I mean, if they can speak English, I'll fuck with them.
Yeah, no, there's a few good ones, and we'll get some good stuff with them. And then even anyone else, we just got a request. That's like the people with shit coming up.
All right, I'm with it.
And then, yeah, so I'll get on this to where I start booking more people and getting things going.
Oh, how about Anthony Smith not getting the mic when he retired?
He didn't retire, so I checked in with his PR people. Because, yeah, if he would have won, we were going to get him on the show this week. We're trying to get Ian Gary as well.
Okay.
But scheduling and timing. I thought he was going to retire, so I asked his guy, like, it looked like they cut him off, and he said, nope, he's doing the Grappling Pass Invitational, and he's going to, the Fight Pass Grappling Invitational, and he's looking to get another fight, so.
Okay.
Good for you, Anthony Smith. We thought they gypped you right there.
Yeah, I was like, damn. When you told me, I was like, oof.
Oh, it's fucking terrible. Yeah, let's lock it up right now.
All right. Dustin Peg won this weekend, too.
Just, you know what it was for even him? He was kind of like a you. Dustin, I look at Dustin Peg as Dennis Bermudez. You're kind of like Forrest Griffin. Beat him up, and then you're going to bring this dog out in him where it's not going to go. You're going to beat him up a little bit, and then he's going to start fucking you up. You know what I mean?
Well, my rhyme and reasoning is like, I'm losing, so I might as well start going for broke.
Yeah, so Forrest Griffin.
The game I'm playing of touch and go and moving and isn't working, so I got to start grabbing people, throwing them to the ground, and just throwing fucking heat.
They used to say Forrest Griffin didn't start fighting until you hit him. Like, he'd get hit, and he said it himself. I'd get hit with a good punch, and then I'd pick it up. I used to see Dennis Bermudez get hit with some good shots and then come back to fuck the people up.
No, but it's not because I thought I was. It's not because I got hit. It's because I thought I was losing.
Brought a dog out of you. Brought the dog out of you. Like, oh no, I'm gonna kill this guy. This guy's gonna.
So Dustin got dropped, right?
Got flashed a little bit and just was getting clipped and just looked a little off and just wasn't. And then the second round, first round, lost the first round.
Okay.
And the guy he was fighting looked good every time they got
bigger.
Close.
That guy didn't make weight, right?
No, missed weight. But every time they got close, guy was the bare knuckles. That's the question I had for Michael Johnson is bare knuckle. Like, he probably do good in it, but it's fucking crazy too at the same time, you know?
I feel like you got to almost pace out your punches. Like, you can't, every punch can't be like a knockout. You got to like just get some touchers.
It's got all these levels to it. It's got the touchers where you don't want to break your hand and stuff, but then it's also got the where people wing because you don't got to worry about the takedown at all. If I miss, I don't give a fuck if I,
Yeah, but if you wing and punch someone fucking in the forehead or fucking in the back of the, I mean.
The more I watch it, I see the wings a lot where I'm like, ooh, he's going to, and me breaking and fucking up everything my whole time, training my whole life, I know, oh shit, he's going to break. He's fucking up something.
When I watch, I'm constantly watching them in between rounds and seeing what they're doing with their hands.
Yeah.
Or if they get knocked down, if they get up and they're like.
That's a big thing for me. That's like what I watch more than the fight almost. I remember, perfect example, and then we'll end it here, is Paulie Malignaggi losing to Artem because he hurt his hands. You know what I mean? And then remember how we talked about Aljo, how fucked up he came out of the fight? He then posted a video, I think I sent it to you, how swollen his face was fine, but how swollen his feet and shins were.
Right, yeah.
You used to experience.
Well, when you put on that much weight and the sodium and shit like that.
No, well, even from just kicking, because I remember I told you he did work. He landed a lot on Henry's. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you used to experience that? Because you used to rip a lot of kicks.
I would always be like, "Can I fly now? Like, might I die?" Because there's can't you get like a blood clot because of the swelling and shit like that?
Some health issues or some shit. Yeah,
I've heard things. And I'm like, well, let's roll the dice and get on this flight.
But yeah, that's kind of like for Aljo. It's like, oh, I'm not jumping right back into a camp. I got some shit just for the championship fight.
Yeah, man.
Fuck my shit up a little bit.
Fuck yeah.
But
you got all the things done.
I think this was the episode. We did good here. I think we shook off the rust with this one. Aljo's another one too, who I'm going to try to set something up with. He just he's been on like a media tour. He did Ariel Helwani like 3 weeks in a row.
Rob or
him too. We need to get
Elliott.
Yeah, we got some shots to shoot. Well, those ones usually.
We also have a bunch of people that we met at Eagle FC. They're like, I gotta come on. Like,
yeah, we're the fighters show. We just got to get the fans and everybody to catch on. But the more we curse, the lower we're gonna get pushed down to the. I've now realized that.
That's your fault.
Yeah.
But can't you edit it and bleep them?
Yes and no. We just gotta. People got to pay attention, and we get big enough to where there's people with curses on the internet.
Just bleep them.
Freedom.
Oh my gosh. No, we want to be PG for the kids too.
What? This is an adult show.
Drinks with my guy, dude. All right.
Yeah. It was good seeing you, Menace. What are you getting to? The lady?
Yeah, she cooked me dinner and put off dinner to talk to you guys.
All right, well, go enjoy your dinner. Good seeing you.
All right. Well, see you later.